You ready to game? You ready to game? You'd better be, because that's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. We're here to game. I'm excited. I'm excited to play this game, although another thing did happen, which is I sat down and I was like, time to open Monster Hunter Wilds. It is just like an instinct. It's not that I'm playing a ton of Monster Hunter. I am playing a ton of Monster Hunter Wilds. It's not just that. It's just in my brain, I'm like, well, this must be what we're doing. All right. So if I remember correctly, we uncovered somebody's old hot rod. I think I was trying to decide. Oh, no, we actually left. It must have autosaved after we left. I abandoned the wide man. I'm so sorry, Isoplod. If it helps, I regretted it too, because that means that's a storyline we're not following up on. But he lied and betrayed us. Seraphim is more important to me, and I have to respect his opinion. Occasionally, not often. Welcome, Rory. You made it here. Oh, hey. I did a thing on the soundboard. Hey, Roy. Let me get it up and going. Okay. Are you all ready for some
space?
Was that audible in any way? How much of that could you actually hear? It was very quiet. Yeah. That is the thing about the soundboards, is they're just kind of sort of super quiet. Hold on, let me see if I can raise it. Here we go. I've doubled the volume. Let's try it one more time.
Space.
It's so... The sound of his spittle gives me reverse ASMR. It's really, it's such, he put so much juice on it. It's too much. Okay. I think I decided we were not going to go for this gather scrap because it was too risque. Oh, can I make a space, a channel point, or bit redeem? Yeah. Yeah, probably. I'll look into doing that. No, I don't want to end this cycle. I want to leave. All right, we got back here. And then I think I left. I don't think there's a lot for me to do. Right, that guy needs a thing. That's where I can get food, but I don't need any. I think I can make money here. Can buy fuel. How are we on fuel? Okay, we could probably use some cargo. Or we could do a little bit of work. All right. Where were they selling cargo? That's fuel. Maybe they don't have a cargo spot here. That's hydroponics. Oh, no, here it is. Fill supply. You want to fill it? Yeah, I want to fill it. We got the money. Can we hear my rendition of Tim Curry's Space? I'm gonna get my microphone wet. Let me hear it. Let me hear it one more time. Hold on. Is it going?
Space.
Ugh. It's just, it's so nasty. It's that the back half of the word is so nasty. I don't think I can do it. Yeah, I can't bring my body to try to do it. I would love if somebody who knew how to like diagram sounds like sat down and figured out all the sounds that Tim was making in that. Shifts are always available. Yeah, I think that's really everything I can do here. I still need to get Oh, I could go straight to Holmes. I couldn't go there from the far spindle. That makes sense. Because then we would be going through this. But we could just hop over. Or we could do this whenever. Ha! Isapplaud, thank you for booting up your computer. It's a great question. It's a great question. Okay, I will try. Okay. I'll try to do the space. I'm going to listen to it one more time, and then I'll try to do the space.
Space.
Also, the audio clip I got off YouTube has a weird... it includes the run-up, which is really funny, which I'm not going to attempt. But it's just Tim Curry becoming overwrought. He kind of goes, okay. Space! That was too much. That was too much. All right, let's fight this psychic. Is that what you were hoping for, NH London? It's that he adds so many letters between the S and the P of the word space. And I really don't know how you even do that. All right. Listen, we got fuel, we got supplies. You think the wet was equivalent? Thank you, Isapplaud. That means a lot to me. You think the wet was equivalent? Let's see. This guy, you wanted me to go get a piece. But I need a ship mined. Where do I have that at? Make repairs. Oh, right. I'm supposed to meet Cadet at the scatter yards. And locate a ship at Hellion Gate. Okay. But Hellion Gate's on the other side. Where is Scatter Yards? That's Wellspring. That's Holmes Rock. Oh, Scatter Yard. Okay, so I will need a have-nav to get past that. I mean, maybe we just... I feel like there must be something that will take us to Holmes Rock. Remote asteroid colony. Independent trading station. We could just go straight to Hellion Gate. But that would use up all our fuel. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. But I guess I've got no... I'm gonna refuel. I'm gonna get us all the way fueled. I'm gonna use my dice doing a little work on the station. Just to get some spare change. And then, God, what are we gonna do? I might hop us to this asteroid colony. Ooh, we got some scrap. That's nice. All right. There we go. Nice day's work. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about Holmes Rock. I do always worry that we're just going to run out of fuel. Maybe it would be better to do... Is this not going to take any fuel? I wonder if the amount of fuel these quests take changes based on what base I'm at. Maybe we should just do this quest. Well, I didn't want to do this quest because I only have one person on board. And Bliss is great, but our skill overlap leads something to be desired. Alright, well, I mean, let's explore. No reason not to just go for it. Sleeper? Bliss speaks quietly from the door at the back of the cockpit. Can we talk? You glance over at Seraphin, his head back and eyes closed while the rig cuts through empty space. You don't seem to be needed here. You unclip from your harness and follow Bliss. How are you doing? Bliss glances over their shoulder as they drift towards the back of the ship. The question takes you aback. You can't remember the last time anyone had actually asked with real intention how you are? Better than I was. Bliss shoots you a look. That's a good way of thinking about it, I guess. To be honest, Sleeper, I'm not sure how you're still standing. Rude. Breaking out of Darkside, then again in Hexport, those things take a toll. Bliss turns a corner. It's okay to give yourself space to feel that. Bliss leads you off a main corridor into the workshop they set up where they repaired the ship. It's small, but its neatly arranged tools and sloping walls help to feel cozy and tucked away. You see improvements everywhere, new tools and equipment. Bliss notices you looking at their upgrade setup. I told you I'd be worth taking along. Never doubted it. Never doubted it. Yeah, Galumper, you bought the first one. I hope you enjoy it. I think if you're enjoying what's happening in this game, you'll enjoy what's happening in that one. I do think, I think once you realize like how good the writing is, I think it's easy to sort of get really invested in the game, but it's hard to get a sense of that until you feel like you have more breadth of the game. If that makes sense, that's how I feel about it. Maybe you feel otherwise. You just had to wrap your brain around the gameplay. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Well, that's a lie. They smile. Feels good to hear, though. Anyway, I didn't bring you here just to brag. They pause. Or at least not just to brag. They suddenly glance away, the atmosphere in the room shifting. I can see your body is showing the strain, Sleeper. Rude. I brought you here so we could do something about that. They beckon you towards the workbench, where you both settle onto stools. They flick on a small light and aim it at your arm. Let them look. Bliss gently cradles your arm, turning it to inspect the underside. You see tears and holes in the vital skin and dark moving things beneath. What is in me? You look as Bliss brings the light closer to the biggest tear, and it glints off the metallic tendons of your forearm. Below that, you see something more fluid and wet catching the light. What? You know, you aren't the first Sleeper I've met. Bliss talks while they inspect the rest of your arm. Oh my god, they're talking about me. I actually partnered with one in my old repair bay on the eye. That's me! They're talking about me from the first game! Feels like 100,000 cycles ago now, but I remember them. Their precise work, their quiet enthusiasm, there was something calming about their presence. Bliss, was there something about my calming presence in that one? I feel like, I guess there aren't many sleepers. Yeah, it seems, the vibe of this game is that there aren't very many. Feels like maybe on the first base we were at, there were more. Because there was like ways to get the goop, the medicine goop. Which makes me feel like there must have been more sleepers back there. But I think we were closer to like the core region of this world. Like we were closer to corpse back that way. Bliss swaps to your other arm. They're different from you, just like one person is different from another, I suppose. But I can't help but remember that time. I was a different person then, that's for sure. They meet your eye. I'm going through something of a transformation myself. What do you mean? Bliss lays both your arms down and leads forward to inspect your upper chest, adjusting the light. I was pretending before, I think, to be the person I was expected to be. They press along the hard protrusion of your clavicle. There are so many calculations I was making, so many corrections. How I held myself, how I spoke, how I reacted. They push gently against each of your metallic ribs, one at a time. Ow! Ooh! Ew! Tickles! I didn't realize how tired I was until they stopped and sit back. Until I gave up. I came here to the belt with someone else, and when I did, I realized this was my chance to become something new. So I let go of everything. They look away. It was messy, ugly, and the person I came here with, I let them go too. I was punching out at everything because it felt like everything was holding me back, stopping me from the change I was owed. Don't worry, they smiled weakly. I'm calmer now. I'm not about to explode on you or anything. It's still a difficult process, but it feels like shedding 100 suffocating skins that you spent half your life putting on, one by one. They meet your eye. It feels like an escape. They lean forward again and check the skin of your shoulders where it is worn and faded. You let them, the atmosphere quiet but calm in the workshop. A feeling of solidarity growing somewhere in your frame. Glowing somewhere in your frame. Not bad, Sleeper. You're holding up well given everything. That's not what you said 2 minutes ago. You were shit-talking my frame, poking all my gooey innards. Bliss folds her arm in front of them protectively. But I'm still concerned. There's some decline in your system functions. Let's keep an eye out for components. It's interesting to think about how we have a really attuned sense of what aging looks like in people. So, depending on what gender the person presents, more finely tuned than others. But it's interesting to think about how robots would show wear differently. They would show wear like, maybe like how a jacket would. Like their elbows would probably wear out faster or in more specific ways. Like the joints would wear out visually, where the material over them would like bend and stretch a lot. Thank you, Bliss. It's no problem. They release you from the stool and drift over to the rack of tools. I owe you for jolting me out of whatever my life had become on the far spindle. You leave Bliss to their workshop, feeling reassured that you have them here on the ship. I just love the idea of seeing, like, a professor robot with tweed patches on their elbows. I think that's conceptually very fun. As you do, you think of your relationship to your own body, this frame that you were forced into that's never quite felt like your own. You realize that this feeling is not unique to you. No one gets to choose their body. Everyone has to contend with the entropy of their flesh. And in that realization, you suddenly feel less alone. A family photo shoot with your cats! Oh my god. That's adorable. That's so cute. Lumpen and cratered Holmes Rock floats on the sunward side of the belt, its only notable feature the bright shapes of its solar arrays angled towards the system's distant stars. Cool, cool. Porcupine! Porcupine Station! Can't even dock the rig here. Seraphim nods at the bright shape of Holmes Rock. Lone docking bay. Won't fit. We'll have to park here and go out the airlock. He seems repulsed by the idea. Oh. We do that every contract. You do that every contract. Seraphim leans back in the chair. I've gotten used to sitting them out. Queermint, thank you for the resubscribe. No clothes for the cats or for... What kind of photo shoot is this? Barely seems worth the trip down. Bliss speaks up from the back of the cockpit. There are other ships docked. Yeah, looks like a Lotic freighter. Bliss yawns. I guess they might be up for trading. I'll come down later. Don't feel like squeezing into a suit now. Bliss gives a lazy wave as they glide out of the cockpit. Wow, nobody is that excited to come here, which is a real tragedy. Dominating Christmas card! Really funny. You gaze out. Somehow, if I got a Christmas card from a friend that was a nude photo shoot of just them, I'd be like, that's fucking bold, but I'm into it. If I got a Christmas card and it was a nude photo shoot of genuinely any married couple I know, I'd be like, this is unacceptable. You can't do this. This is a crime. I'm gonna burn this evidence so you don't get taken away, but like, what the fuck? And it's weird to think about the dividing line between that. If it's a single person, it's like, wow, they're really owning this. This is kind of crazy, but you know, living your best life. But as soon as it's a couple, really feels like I'm being made a part of something that I don't want to be a part of. Covering their bits with funny props, now that's good. A comedy nude photo shoot that you just have, and then you go to their bathroom and they've got a bunch of hilarious, not quite sexy, not quite funny, or a little sexy and a little funny. I don't know. The card says, we saw you across the bar. Oh no. Gaze out over Holmes Rock. It suddenly doesn't look very exciting, but there's refueling to be done and maybe more. You might even be able to scare up a hot meal. Manic Pixie Dreamlurker, thank you for the resubscribe. You certainly won't find one floating here. You kick off from the back of your seat and glide out of the cockpit towards the airlock. Sleeper! Seraphim catches your attention as you go to leave the ship. Can I have a minute? My god. You waited until I put on the suit? Maybe I don't need a suit. Because I'm a robot and I don't breathe. Geosdai, that would actually be incredible. Nude Christmas card culture shock? Yeah. I think a business card, what would the tagline on the business card be, though? Looking for our third, and then just a number? I'm hugely fond of a classy, discreet business card. My business cards are very classy and discreet. They're very simple and straightforward, which I like. Yeah, you can have a minute. Seraphim ducks into a maintenance passage and waits for you to follow. In the narrow passage, framed by loose wires and thick conduit, Seraphim looks suddenly small, trapped. He looks at an open circuitry panel as he speaks, avoiding your gaze. You see, he's playing with a coin in his hand, nervously spinning it in the air. Since we cleared Hexport, I've been putting feelers out for something. He rubs his hands nervously. I've been in the belt a long time, and I came here alone, but back on Darkside, just before we made a break for it, I heard something. I heard someone was looking for me. Oh my god, Seraphim family? He pauses, trying to organize his thoughts. Who's after you? There's an American Psycho musical? That's pretty incredible. Galumper, yes. I love that vibe. Hold on, let me see if I can find my business cards. I hand printed my business cards. There's a print shop it's like a volunteer like art studio print shop in St. Louis. And so I hand printed these cards. I really love how they turned out, but since I printed them, there's been such a backlash against the term content creator, which I find really frustrating. But aren't they so cute? Aren't they so classy? It's kind of a shimmery gold cardstock. Just says content creation, then my website and my email. I love how they turned out, but it is just like, I made them, I printed off so many of them, and then immediately there is an online backlash against the concept of content creators and calling yourself a content creator. Mostly coming from people who do not do content creation. It was other people in the space being like, don't call your art content. And I'm like, it is content. This is not, I take my content very seriously and I spend a lot of time and energy on it, but it's not always my art. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the video essays are art. The Indica video essay was art. But it's like, you know what? It's also content and I don't feel ashamed for making content. Sorry about it. Anyway, now it's awkward. I think that moment has passed. There was a moment there when it was really bad, but yeah, the pizza ray was art. Sometimes content and art can overlap. Anyway, I think the moment has passed. I think they're okay to pass out now, but the next run I do will have something different going on. I also heard something else. They said the person looking for me was claiming to be my sister. He waits for your reaction. You have a sister? I did, yeah, or I do. He shakes his head, but I don't even know whether it's really her. Just because someone says they're my sister, well, I can't be sure. Prompt engineer? Fuck. Yeah, that's the thing is like, some people, the content that they make is like ads. Like, it's just like, here's 20 things I bought off Amazon. This is my content. But like, the content that I make, I don't feel like fits into that same category. But maybe that's the trouble, is like the ambiguity of the phrase, the concept of content. The word content. Yeah. Queer man, exactly. Content creation is a bit vague. That's certainly true. But it's also, Geos die, yes. That's exactly the issue. Which is like, if I'm making a business card, do I put video essayist, live streamer, writer, researcher, podcaster, like, enough's enough. I make content, and I make a lot of different kinds of content on a lot of different platforms in a lot of different styles. And so it's like, I don't know. To me, the distinction is the framework around what makes something translate to the internet. Interesting, Faith. You make art, but you also make content. Yes. This is a thing. Actually, I've talked to people before, is like, I do like art in my own time, or like when I travel. When I travel, I'm traveling. I'm not making content. But there are times at which I'm like, this travel moment is about to become a content moment, right? And like, I think that's easier if you're doing something that's like a physical art. Like if I'm knitting, that's not content. If I take a picture of my knitting and put it online, that kind of makes it content. But the extent to which I consider just any pictures of the stuff I do content kind of varies. And so it's like, but I think that's harder if you are like making something inherently digital. Materia creator? I like materia creator. That makes me sound like a Final Fantasy. Depends on how tax deductible they are. That's really funny. The thing is, I haven't seen my sister in a long time. I was still a kid when I left. So is she, though I don't think she would have liked to admit it at the time. He smiles to himself. Funny person on the internet? I like that. We need a group for all physical content. Yeah, I just don't know. Call myself an extraordinaire? You're right. You know what? Okay, the next time I make business cards, I mean, it could just be Jenna Stoeber and then like my email address. Maybe it should just be Jenna Stoeber. That is such a power move. Being like, oh, here's my card. Look me up. Oh, Google me. You'll find it. I think that would be really funny. In the right circumstances, this is problem is like, in the right circumstances, that is such a power move. In other circumstances, somebody's going to take that and be like, it just has your name on it. I know you don't remember how it was back on Darkside, I mean, but we were alone, you and me. Lane didn't let us out much, just to work, and that was all. So when I overheard one of the guards mention someone was sniffing around trying to find me, I didn't know what to think. He frowns. And then hearing it could be my sister, he goes quiet. You try to recall that time, the cycle spent under Lane's influence, working for him in exchange for stabilizer. You close your eyes, focus, but the details flicker, the images collapse and reform. Has Seraphine told you this before? Was all this part of your plan? You want to go find her? Yeah. It changed things for me. I thought that she could be out there. We've got to find his sister. Your business card just says super genius. I love that. Prompt engineer? No. Embed the words content creator in a QR code under your name. Well, okay. One thing I thought would be really fun is I do like lino cuts sometimes. This is another thing is like, sometimes I do art that never becomes content and it's just secret art for me. And I do lino cuts sometimes. And I think it would be really, really funny to do hand-printed QR codes. I think it would be really funny to make a QR code, transfer it to a piece of lino cut, do the cut, and then hand-printed places. I think that would be really funny. Anyway, I think that would be, Boo-Ray, I think that would be really funny. Blank business card with your name printed and lemon juice, so you have to reveal it? Oh my god, yes! It's a secret code card. Do people know about, like, heating stuff up to find a QR quilt? Somebody has to have done that. What if I made, like, a giant QR patch and wore it on a jacket, and then people could be like, what is this? And then it'd be like, oh, it's a content creator. There's so many. It gotta be a Rickroll. Oh, Christ. In 2025? Yeah. People do that, but it's normally for Rickrolls. That's fair. This is tricky because I know QR codes are not a very secure, like, yeah, NH London, that's the thing is, like, I don't want to encourage people just scanning random QR codes. So just slapping it on my back, I don't know. Oh. What if I, instead of Rickrolling, Rick Pink Pony Club covered? That would be better. That would be funnier, maybe. Don't get me wrong, I wanted to get you out of there too. He pauses, and you sense he's finding this difficult. I know it doesn't matter now, but I told you about her back then, before. Yeah, I believe you, Seraphine. How can I trust that? No, I trust Seraphine. I'm sorry I don't remember. It's okay, Sleeper. I understand. Since we got away, since Hexport, I've been asking around, speaking to spacers, traders, and like I said, something's finally come up. It seems whoever was trailing me left Darkside pretty soon after Itsubo caught wind of her sniffing around. I doubt they made her feel very welcome, but I managed to get a name. The name she gave, Luz, wasn't my sister's, but that doesn't mean much. It gave me something to follow. She bounced around the wash a little, for Farspindle Flotsam, not sure why. He squints at a loose wire. The last thing she did was book passage to Wellspring on a Lotic freighter. That's it. I could have helped. I wanted something concrete, something clear. You want to help? Now's your chance. I want to go to Wellspring, Sleeper. I want to know if it's really her. And if it isn't, to settle what needs settling. Let's do it. Thank you, Sleeper. He meets your eye. I'll admit it's been strange, reminding myself that everything we talked about back on Darkside, everything we did, it's lost now. But I'm glad to see you're still you, whatever that means. Yeah, me too, he nods. High five! Anyway, better get back to it. Seraphim squeezes past you in the corridor and glides back to the engine room. You watch him go, wondering if your past together can ever be reclaimed. It can be rebuilt. Your mind wanders to thoughts of Seraphin's sister. For a moment, you wonder what it's like to have a family, and if you'll ever know. Seraphin's your family, but you just don't know because of your brain. I'm gonna have to listen to the Pink Pony Club cover. I'm curious. I'm invested. I like that he's like, yeah, this is the good shit. I don't know much about Rick Astley, but that does make me feel affectionate towards him. Explore the tunnels. I don't have any endure. No place like home. Funny. Quiet and far-flung, Holmes Rock is often passed over by crews, but it has certain qualities for those patient enough to go looking. Thanks to its remote nature, barding is a popular pastime on Holmes Rock. You can learn plenty through trade and talk. Alright. Ooh, okay, we've got a major... So our major quests right now are to figure out what's happening with my bod, find Seraphin's sister, investigate Hexport, and then a minor one to make repairs. Alright. And Wellspring is north, I think. Oh yeah, it's just right there. We're gonna have to ask around to get fuel. Oh, we can't do this because we're not at Farspindle. I understand. Okay. I hope there's no time limit. I guess we'll figure that out when it comes. Oh. Wow, a positive outcome only got me 1 tick? That's rough. And it got me a supply too, which we don't even need. Okay, scavenging for fuel. God, am I gonna have to burn all my dice? I should have used that 6. I'm worried this is just gonna get us a bunch of supplies that we're not gonna use. I mean, there's nothing else for us to do here, so I guess there's... I think I'm gonna see if this will get us more ticks. Because that got us... Okay, yeah, that got us 2 ticks. And a new location, thank God. We can help offload a freighter. It's another endure skill. Or we can buy fuel. That's a relief. I was a little nervous that we were going to hang around here and not actually be able to get off because we weren't going to have access to fuel. We are enjoying Strawfish. Well, yeah, I think we're just gonna have to... I mean, yeah, it's not worth pushing there. Let's see if we can get another tick. Oh, we got a fuel. Oh, but we just fueled up. That's so tragic. I mean, it's good to know. Sell engine components. Okay. It's not the best use of valuable items. 35 cryos a pittance, but Senna will broker a sale for passage crew in need of repairs. Okay, so we can sell engine parts here, but I don't think that's a worthwhile exchange for the moment. Do I want to try to get another tick? No. We're gonna park it. I mean, we could. We've gotten enough fuel. We could just bail to Wellspring. We could just bail to Wellspring. Oh, let's stick around one more. I want to, while we're here, if we have the stuff, I would love to open up more. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be anything more here. I mean, there must be something more if we can still get this tick up. Boy, I rolled so badly, though. Maybe we should just leave. We can always come back. Ah, that was such a waste of fuel. How much fuel do we need to get to Wellspring? 6 fuel! I mean, we have it. It's just a lot. Okay. Oh, it's such a waste of... Well, I guess it's not a waste. You get caught up in an impromptu action and end up losing money without really understanding why. I got fleeced. Alright, that gave us a new fuel. I am so regretting buying all that fuel. But we unlocked a new area. We can sell raw scrap, fix the broken arrays, more endure that I don't have, or debug array systems. The solar arrays on Holmes Keep, on Holmes Rock, keep the settlements viable, but their systems are old and residents pay to have inspectors, outside inspector. Residents will pay to have an outsider inspect them. All right. I mean, it's not a bad use of some low-level dice. Get a little bit of change. What is this gonna do? What are you gonna do to me? Take some energy? Yeah. That's fine. There we go. Okay. Alright, we're gonna stay one more tick just so we can unlock this terminus. Because it would be super cool if there were somebody on this station who wanted to leave this station and join us on our spaceship and become our friend and let us access their subquest. Risk it to endure? No. I might eat, though. We got all these cargoes. Well, I mean, there's a chance we might get another cargo, though, so let's do it. Alright. Big money, big money, big money. Alright, 1 fuel, which we didn't need. And 1 more tick. So this will get us our last tick. And got us a supply, too. That's great. Okay. Holmes Rock, it's impossible to get away from the feeling of living, working, and eating in a ruin. Most of the belt is built on the top of remains of Solheim's infrastructure, but there are plenty of places where the modifications or extensions to those structures eclipse the original foundation. In Holmes Rock, it's the reverse. The station is a warm patch at the center of a network of tunnels and bays that stretch within the rock, most of them dark, damp, and wrecked. The sprawling foundation that was never meant to be built upon. Every so often, gliding on your way between Senna's Rest and the Suncatchers, or from the dock to the depot, you find yourself in one of these dark tunnels. That's where you are now. You float, stopped, at a 4-way intersection, no light visible down any tunnel. Oh my god, what? Go straight ahead, go left, go right? How do I know? How do I know which way to go? We're gonna go left. You kick off gently from the wall and head into the cylindrical passage clad with panels that hold back the rock. It's wider than the others, and here and there are little droplets of water float undisturbed. At the far end, you see a faint point of light, the warm glow of a lit passage. Suddenly you hear rustling in the dark, a shrill sound you can't place. There's something out there! Yeah? No, we're gonna engage. Positive outcome. Oh, I lost some stress for that. That's nice. You kick off hard and glide through the tunnel, feeling a few droplets of water gently scatter on your skin. You shake off the fear as you move. The dark doesn't scare you. As you calmly glide through, you catch a droplet in your hand and rub it between your fingers. It's too sticky to be water. You sniff it. Is it a liquid ration? Then something hits you, something solid and meaty, slamming into your stomach and spinning away. You press off the wall and push on as a shrill wail echoes behind you in the dark. What the hell was that? When you reach the lit passage beyond, you turn back. The tunnel is silent and still. You continue on, but you can't shake the feeling of being followed as you ascend back up through the station. Perhaps next time, you'll take a different route. What? What? Siren Bay. Unseal the bay. The Slime Bay is sealed, but with enough data, you might be able to crack the encryption and get inside. Hey, Mechtel. We had an encounter. God, we don't have any data, though. How do we get data? This hasn't even come up yet. All right, this is how we can sell stuff. This is how we get fuel. I mean, until we have data, there's not a lot of reason to hang around, so I'm gonna use this. Yeah, let's get a little bit more cash and then head on to Wellspring. God, I want to know what that is, though. How do I get data? Nice. I'm not going to risk it. How do we get data? Are there aliens in this setting? I know there was mushroom. No, there's no extra life like that. All right, let's go to Wellspring. God, I want to know what was that, though? God, okay. There's no point in sticking around until we have data and can unlock that. So far, that's true. Seraphin! The shout echoes through the ship, reaching you in the cockpit. You see the angle of Seraphin's head change, but he does not respond otherwise. Did you hear that? Seraphin sighed. Yeah, I heard. He looks back at you. How about you go see what they want? They called you. Seraphin shrugs. I'm busy flying the ship. Seraphin! You recognize the voice now. It's Bliss. Of course it's Bliss. Who else would it have been? Moments later, they come into the cockpit. Is no one listening? They look between the two of you. I guess that means one of you is guilty. Bliss shakes their head. Come on. You need to see this. You follow the irritated Bliss through the ship, down the cramped storage units tucked between the main ship and the hull. As you enter, you're greeted by total chaos. Amber globs of liquid ration floating in the air and clinging to the walls, while chunks of dried food spin slowly, breaking into crumbs. Oh my god. See? Someone opened up one of the supply crates and left it like this. They point to a crate in the storage netting with the lid pushed open. You look at the mess spilling out of the crate. Who could have done this? I guess let's inspect the remains. Wow, it did take one of my cargo for that. Positive outcome minus stress. I don't even have any stress. I'm so chill. You take a moment to pick through their food and find a torn open pouch of liquid rations. You turn on the light and see a set of evenly spaced gashes at the edge. Are those claw marks? I have acquired a grue. I think I've acquired some sort of creature. Bliss puffs out their cheek. I need a break from this ship. They look at you. Help me tidy this up. You spend the rest of your journey packing the crate away, disposing of the spoiled supplies. But as you do, you can't help but wonder what actually happened here. Yeah, I think we got space raccoons. Ooh. Queermint says, cat? We got a cat in the first game. I don't see why we shouldn't get a cat in this game. When you're finished, you take one last look at the storage bay. As you gaze around the now cleared space, you have the same feeling of being observed by unseen eyes as you felt in the tunnels of Holmes Rock. As he brings the ship, oh my god, 4 6s? I'm about to bust Wellsprings wide open. As he brings the ship into Wellspring's docking ring, you notice a rare tension in Seraphin's piloting. He jerks the stick a little too hard while the docking bridge extends, and a proximity alarm goes off. He curses under his breath. You okay there? Just fine, Sleeper. He keeps his eyes on the monitors. I'll get Bliss to look at the lateral thrust control. It's a little bit sticky. It's not what I meant. Seraphin doesn't respond, and you see him grip the rig's controls a little tighter. As the ship stops, the docking bridge connected, you lean forward and look out of the cockpit windows, trying to get a good view of the icy surface of Wellspring below. The harsh, gleaming ice gives way to the steep sides of the cut, the asteroid's one city. It glows and steams with warmth, peering down into it. You cannot see the bottom. Below, along the horizon, you see the terraces of the pit head, where the current extraction effort must be taking place. Seraphim runs the shutdown sequence and unclips from the seat. He turns back to you, a flinty look in his eye. I'm gonna head down to the cut. I've got a few leads to follow up on. You get the sense he isn't asking your permission. Let me help? You can check out the city if you want, but I'm not following along, Sleeper. This is my trail to follow. Before you can respond, he pushes past you and glides out of the cockpit. You turn away and watch as he pushes past Bliss in the doorway. I missed something? Bliss shoots you a look. He seems even more irritable than usual. It's his business. Fair enough, Bliss sighs. Looks like a stopover at Wellspring for a bit then. They zip their jacket. I'll be in the markets. At least Lane's unlikely to come out here to pick a fight with the Loptech Syndicate. Bliss shrugs. They turn and head towards the airlock, whistling softly as they do. You sigh. Without a pilot, it doesn't look like you'll be moving on soon. Time to go see Wellspring. Ooh, oh my god, the world circular! Na 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 na. Oh, that's the end. I love that this is circular. All right, so we got the Wellspring pit head where they're diving for ice. And we need data to get there. Okay. Ooh, okay. We can act like a local. The cut is filled with low-tech workers, which makes for a brash and bold atmosphere. You'll need to find the same if you want to explore. Or we could hack the comms. Sure as you wander, but the low-tech syndicate runs this place. Surely you can learn everything you need to know by tuning into their chatter. Well, I mean, I've got 4 6s, so obviously I'm just gonna do that. Marlo, thank you for the raid. Hey. Oh, 3 ticks, come on. New location discovered. Hey, what were you doing on your stream? The Cutwater. Ooh, I can do a shift. Or I can buy a meal. All right. I think I'm just going to use another one of my 6s to breeze through this part and crack this whole world right open. Amazing to think this place supplies most of the Belt's water. Bliss looks across the Cutwater at the workers in their distinctive yellow gear. No wonder the Syndicate runs it like a corporation. Ooh, more mist. Feel like I'm making progress, but was told I'm only halfway through the game. There's a lot of mist in Mist. You look at those gathered in the low ceiling bar, gathering around the cushioned couches and low magnetic tables. Their voices bounce off the metal walls. All of them wear low-tech clothing, a mark of their status as contractors for the Belt's most powerful syndicate. You look back at Bliss, who is watching another group, quietly discussing something serious in the corner. Low-tech gets the job done. Bliss turns back to the bar, sips their drink through its metal straw. Well, that's the thing. I've been looking around Chasm Row, searching out components in the markets. Down there, people don't seem so happy. Bliss meets your eye. Revolution! There's a lot of talk of contracts. It seems Low-tech's been locking down its workers, giving the war in the inner system as an excuse. They play with their metal straws, swirling the orbs of liquid in their sealed glass. The pressure is building, Sleeper. We shouldn't hang around here much longer, they sigh. We need to give Seraphim time. Well, Bliss raises an eyebrow. Sounds like I'm not the only outsider who's been hanging out in Chasm Row. I heard someone complaining about a rude young man asking too many questions. Uh-oh, Seraphim. Who else could that be? They laugh. That's the place to start if you want to find our boy. I want him to do what he needs to do. They said he was asking about the Rhyme Market, but I have no idea what that is. Bliss looks out across the bar. Definitely a touchy subject for locals, though. Yeah, I'll head there now. I'll finish my drink, they smile. Let me know how it goes. You leave the Cutwater, shouldering your way through a crowd of boisterous contractors. There's a conspiratorial mood to the conversations now that Bliss has mentioned it, and you wonder what all the talk is about. You suddenly feel cold as you leave the steaming bar and enter one of the icy passages cut into the asteroid itself. All this water in the hands of a single syndicate. If something goes wrong here, the Belt will die of thirst long before the war reaches it. You turn up the collar of your jacket against the cold and head for Chasm Row. Okay. Find the Rhyme Market. Bliss said Seraphim was hunting for the Rhyme Market. Whatever it is, you'll need to get to know the area and its hidden ways to find it. Alright, so 6 ticks there, which I think we can get. We can probably get with... and we might need 3. We might only get 2 ticks with a positive. And we can buy supplies. We can do a shift. But the shift I think is just gonna get me money, right? Yeah. There's a supply yard. And I think these are just ways of getting money. I don't think they're gonna unlock anything. So I think we're gonna have to focus on Chasm Row. Until we can get some data. Alright. Boop. Thank God we've got these beautiful dice. That really sped up this whole breakthrough. Alright, yeah, so we only got 2 dice, or 2 ticks for that. Something about the flow of people and goods is wrong here. More people enter than leave. Boxes disappear down alleys. You're close. Alright, let's try our luck. Nice! God! I'm so good at this game. The markets of Chasm Row have become familiar in the past cycles. Their steaming, orange-lit depths, their persistent condensation on each of its units' windows, the gleam of the amber workers' suits, each contributing to the particular atmosphere of this buried city. Hey, Liz! But among this, you've never noticed other details too. You noticed other details too. The freelance crews on the hunt for illicit tech, the conversing workers who drop to a whisper when you pass, the light flickering up through the floor grates, suggesting even deeper layers. How creepy would it be if more people left than entered? That would be awesome. They're just manufacturing people there. These are the details you have followed to the Rhyme Market, a place discussed in hushed tones in dimly lit rooms. And as you drift towards what you know to be one of its entrances, the door bursts open in front of you. A large, dark bundle glides out of the door and it impacts the metal wall of the passage with an echoing bang. But your eyes are drawn to the imposing figure that hovers in the doorway, bracing himself on the frame. Stay out of the Rhyme Market, rat. The man sends an orb of spit spinning after the bundle. Stop spitting in spaceships. Stop spitting in spaceships. The bundle unfolds and suddenly you recognize Seraphim. Winded but straightening up to go back for more. I'm gonna stop him. He's still, look at how banged up he still is. Neutral outcome check passed. You push up in front of Seraphim, and as you do, he tries to kick off from the wall back into the fight. You block him, and he suddenly switches angry glare to you. Stay out of this, sleeper. What are you doing? Know when you are beaten, rat, the man calls out. It's time to go home and lick your wounds. Seraphim exhales in frustration, his anger faded, replacing by the stinging pain of his injuries. You watch a perfectly round blob of blood form at the bottom of his nose. Ha! Let me hit this idiot, Seraphim? I am not a combatant in this game. Want to explain what's happening? For the record, the man folds his arm. This one started it. He looks between the two of you, snooping around our meeting like a rat. You see his sharp eyes recalculating the situation since your arrival. I wasn't snooping, I was looking for someone. If you'd taken a minute to talk to me before throwing a punch, maybe you would have got that. The man scratches at his beard, squinting at Seraphim. Say I believe you. What were you doing at the meeting then? Missing persons aren't our business. All I heard is that this is where low-tech contractors meet, Seraphim sighs. I don't like you hearing that, not at all. And I'm gonna need to know, and I'm gonna need to ask who told you that later? And I'm going to need to ask you who told you that later. Okay. He straightens up. But yeah, this is where the contractors meet, as if that's anything to you. The person I'm looking for is a contractor. Seraphim's frustration rises again. She used the cover name Luz. Luz? Luz. He pauses, a desperation entering his voice. Please, I think she might be my sister. Something changes in the man's stance. He holds up a massive hand to silence Seraphin and looks down the passage in both directions. Not here. He retreats through the door. Get in. As you both enter, he reaches past you and slams the metal door behind, spinning the lock wheel with one hand. I'm Kirk. I'm Kirk, he grunts, pointing at himself with a thick thumb. Contractors are my concern, but if Lotik catches us discussing contracts out here, he shakes his head. He turns and leads you down the passage. You pass an open door and you glance inside to see a group gathered in a circle, all of them in workers' clothes. They're speaking in hushed voices. One of them exchanged a nod with Kirk. Let's not interrupt the meeting anymore, shall we? He glares playfully at Seraphin, who remains silent. Kirk leads you to the side of a massive vertical metal pipe with a rough hole cut in the side. He beckons you both inside. You descend through the pipe in silence and darkness. Suddenly you come out through the ceiling of a wide and low hall. As far as you can see, crooked stalls and makeshift shelters dot the grilled floor, lit by scavenger lights, lanterns, and light strips. Steam drifts up through the grates, concealing the room so you cannot see the walls. Welcome to the Rhyme Market. Kirk gestures a thick hand at the ramshackle interior. Lotik don't know about this place, he smiles. Let's get a drink. He leads you to a nearby stall with a set of improvised stools welded to the floor in front. He hooks his leg onto one, and you and Seraphin follow suit. He holds up 3 fingers at the stall's owner, and a drink in a straw-pierced packet is handed to each of you. Seraphin looks skeptically at the drink. We friends now or something? Look, Kirk takes a sip. I'm not going to apologize for putting you on your arse. That's on you. But like I said, I represent the contractors. And if someone is part of the family, well, he shrugs his massive shoulders. Then they deserve to be heard out at least. Yeah, I don't let Seraphin speak. Enough. You know a lose. I saw it in your eyes. Seraphin glares at him. Where is she? All right, Seraphin, maybe I'll take the lead. I also wish this had voice acting mix us up. Describe her. Kirk leans back on a stool. I'm not giving you anything more until you prove she's your sister. Seraphin closes his eyes. Dark hair, used to wear it long and messy. Bright eyes, broad shoulders. You see a little twitch around his eyes as he recalls. Tough but kind. Tattoos. Nervous laugh. He opens his eyes and glares at Kirk. That enough? Kirk sniffs. Yeah, that's her. You almost feel something jump in Seraphin, an almost imperceptible tension rising. It's her. His sister. It is another wide boy. If I can recruit this guy, I will. As long as he doesn't betray me and lie to me. Luz, Kirk speaks slowly, drinking between. Or whatever her real name is one one of the contractors here. She's part of the most recent contractors Lotik registered. That means, just tell me where she is, Seraphin demands, his impatience getting the better of him. As I was saying, Kirk gives Seraphin a pointed look, those new contractors are restricted to the pit head. In fact, that's what we were discussing when you interrupted our meeting. Were you guys unionizing? They should unionize. Seraphin looks away in frustration but holds his tongue. Since the war, the Lotik Syndicate has been trying to lock down Wellspring. They went from a loose association of mining groups to an autocracy and started enforcing contracts with some seriously overreaching terms. Your sister? She's one of those contracts. Lotik are acting like they own her and the others because, according to their contracts, they do. Which is exactly what we want to do something about. Union, union, union. This cycle, he forcefully taps the bar with a finger, we're voting on strike action and a full blockade afloats them. We will bring the syndicate to the table to... Seraphin knocks his drink away and kicks off from the table, disappearing into the market. I'll hear you out. Kirk watches Seraphin go with a disappointed look in his eyes. Your friend will go to the Lotik Syndicate. I know it. He sips from his drink. They won't help him there. Kirk's bright eyes meet yours. The syndicate will do nothing for him or for you. Trust me. I do trust you. I trust a union man. I want to help you, Sleeper. I want to help your friend. But I'll need your help in return. I want to help. Good. I knew you would. Kirk places a plastic pass card in your hand. It glints with the mark of the Lotik Syndicate, a blurry ID photo laminated to its transparent interior. This will get you into the pit head. You can see for yourself what's happening there. Don't follow your friend to Lotik. Go to the pit head. Find Luz yourself. He meets your eye. When you do, come back to me, and we can discuss how to free her and everyone else like her. If you go to Lotik, if you meet with them, I can't help you. Not even a problem. He releases your forearm and drifts back into the crowd, disappearing into the steam and darkness. You catch up with Seraphim in the bustle of the Rhine market, among the steam and crowds. I can't have been the only one who saw his pitch coming a mile off. Seraphim is bristling with anger. What kind of idiot does he think we are? Is that what this is about? This is about getting my sister out of whatever mess she's gotten into. Seraphim starts to push through the crowd towards the exit tunnel. We need to speak to Lotik. Forget these clowns. He shoves his way forward. We don't need to get tied up in this. We just need to get her out. Seraphim forges on ahead, and you get caught in the crowd behind him. As he disappears from view, you curse his impatience. You float there for a moment, buffeted by passing people, clutching onto the Lotik pass, trying to decide what to do next. Ooh, Rory, good luck. Supporting you from a distance. Alright, we should have... Ooh, okay. We can buy rare components and scrap components. That's cool. But I think what we gotta do is crack this bad boy open. Boop. Alright, access granted. The supervisor waves you through, barely looking at the pass. You're in. I'm in. Oh, cool. We got access to the canteen. Sneak a meal. Using your pass, you can sneak into the canteen and get some free food. But you better be careful. Your Lotik pass isn't actually yours, and if they find out, you won't be able to eat there free anymore. That's funny. So we get a couple ticks to eat free at the company canteen. I bet the food's terrible, so... Alright, search for Luz or join a work crew. I don't have any endure, so probably not gonna join a work crew. But we're making progress. Ooh, low-tech operations. Negotiate a meeting. Oh, Seraphim wants to meet with the syndicate bosses to negotiate his sister's release. Oh, that's gonna be, I think, pretty hard. Scavenge for fuel. Okay. Alright, we got a couple of good die. Can I... No. God, it drops down to a 4. That's so bad. Alright, let's just straight up search. See how many ticks this gets us. Alright, 2 ticks at a time. Apparently, the locked-in contractors are working deeper in the shaft. You need to explore. Alright. Ooh, negative outcome. Do I want to risk... I could only get 2 ticks with these 2 dies. I could try to sneak a meal. I'm not going to be super helpful here either. Yeah. What can I use these last 2 dice on then? Don't want to sell anything. Don't want to buy anything. Oh, I guess I could try a depot shift. Oh, but it's endure. Ugh. I could do a shift. Let's see what happens if I do bad. Alright, neutral outcome. I lost an energy, but I got 12 cryo. That's not a bad trade-off. God, meals are 18 cryos here? Rampant with hydroponics. Serves slow-cooked tomato and pepper stews. Damn, okay. Culinary oasis here at Wellspring. God, do I want to use this too? I could push my luck and do a shift. No, I'm not going to. We'll just sleep on this dice. Oh, yes. Some beautiful dice options. Wow, we scavenged quite a lot of fuel too. Okay. Alright, we're gonna find Luz. We're gonna do it right now. I can't help but feel like this would be easier if Seraphine were doing it, since I have no clue who we're looking for. Oh, one tick only? This game's edging me. Alright, we did it. The shaft descends towards a sump in the depths of the pit. Here, the air is freezing cold to prevent ice from melting into globules of floating water. If your breath carried water, you'd be able to see it in the air, but the absence of steam in each exhalation only serves to remind you of your own strangeness. Not that anyone else notices. The workers' heads are low, their eyes fixed on their work, shuttling chunks of ice and tools up and down the shaft. At the end of a nearby tunnel, you see the bright sparks of ice cutting in progress, the slabs hanging in the air in that strange way they do in Zero-G. Some loose memories of the time before Darkside, before Lane, before freedom come to your mind. The familiarity of the cold, the sparks, the endless toil, it chills you more than the packed ice on either side of you ever could. You reach the bottom of the shaft, a metal grill marking the terminus. It squeaks as you push open the barred door set into it, and safety lights flicker on, lighting up the glittering ice particles all around their hard beams. It's as if the stars are here in this cavern. As your eyes adjust, the massive space comes into focus. It seems to have no up or down, just countless dark shafts and terraced pits cut into the side. All around, silhouetted by their work lights, contractors cut and haul and gather. This is where those locked-in workers are being held, caught in the contract clause that permits an endless shift. The atmosphere is grim. At the center of the cavern floats a construction of welded-together habitation units. The heavy twist of cables stretch from this improvised structure past you and up the shaft behind, tethering it to a central power source. On each of the 6 sides of this strange apartment block, a set of struts project outward, bracing the construction against the cavern walls. The block itself is wrapped in insulation, clad in protective plates. It glows with small apparatus and lights. You approach the nearest entrance. Everything is bitten by rust, by decay. If the bars on the entrance weren't a clear enough indicator, it's obvious now that this place is a prison. The doors scissor open, letting out a blast of warm air. You quickly duck inside, and it seals rapidly behind you. The cramped interior passage glows warmly, but this ragged condition keeps you from feeling cozy. You follow the corridor, ducking behind the hanging wires and loose insulation. This is where you were told you will find Luz, or whatever her real name is. You come out into a communal mess, counters and food preparation units fitted into the wall, cushioned stools and couches scattered around. A couple of contractors are stretched out in the space, one of them snoring loudly in the corner, another sipping from a food packet on a stool. Suddenly a door opens on the far wall, and Suddenly, a door on the far side opens out into the cavern, letting in a flurry of ice shards that quickly become scattered orbs of water. You watch the figure as they glide into the warm lights of the interior with their dark hair and bright eyes, and know this is who you're looking for. Your eyes meet with hers, and something sparks in that dull, cloying room. It's as if she recognizes you. Sleeper, she looks in a haze, her hair stuck to her forehead with sweat, her eyes still adjusting to the interior. Luz? She nods slowly. You see her scan you, taking in your clothes, the way you hold yourself, your face. For a moment you feel exposed, aware of your damaged vinyl skin, your industrial markings, your doll-like features. You feel the familiar sense of being objectified, but also something warmer below it, a recognition of what you are. She blinks, exhales, shakes her head, realizes she's mistaken. Give me a sec, all right? I just finished cutting 100 cubic meters of ice. She pulls back her hood. Haven't seen you down here before. They just contract you or something? The tension drops, but you get the feeling she isn't quite looking at you. She crosses to a food unit and pulls out a packet, slotting it into a warmer. She thumbs it on. First sleeper I've seen in a long while. She doesn't take her eyes off the slowly warming food. You'll do okay down here. I know you folks are tough and stick with a job. That's good. The rest I can show you once I've eaten. She laughs a little to herself. I'm with your brother. My brother? She pauses, her eyes not leaving the warmer. I think you have me confused with someone. Stop. We need to talk. She turns to face you, and you see a wet shine in your eyes. What are you going on about? You realize you need to tell her. Seraphine's on Wellspring. The warmer chimes to let her know the food packet's ready, but she doesn't seem to notice. Seraphine? She takes a ragged breath, steadying herself. Here? Well, not here. At the cut. She nods, then shakes her head. Well, if he trusts you with his name, I guess I should trust you with mine. She comes closer. I'm Tala. She smiles a warm smile. Now, where's my idiot brother? Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think I can take you to him. But let's say. Sorry, this is not what I was expecting on my lunch break. Tala suddenly seems to take on some energy. Is Tala the bar owner? Was Tala the bar owner? Was she? I don't know. Was she? Tala suddenly seems to take on some energy. She glances towards the corridor behind you and the door at the end. I sure hope you have a plan, Sleeper, because they do not want us locked in contractors getting out. She moves towards the corridor. There's security in the shaft and then again in the pit head. You must have passed through the checkpoint at the entrance, too. I doubt we can bypass all those. She turns back, grabbing her food packet, smiles at you, and shepherds you towards the corridor. You could run a distraction, maybe, or is Sarah already on that? You're slightly taken aback by her sudden change. We don't actually... A blaring alarm suddenly sounds in the habitation module loud enough to wake the sleeping contractor with a start. You and Tala exchange glances. Surely this can't be for you. Tala rushes the corridor and tears open the door at the far end, with you following close behind. The ice scatters, glittering in the interior light. The cavern is in chaos. You see dark-suited low-tech security wrestling with contractors, lit by flashing red lights. More contractors are coming in through the door in the grill you entered from, carrying bulky equipment. The equipment is blaring out a voice, Kirk's voice, echoing around the cavern. A look of panic crosses Tala's face. A general strike is now in effect. All contractors should down tools and hold in place. Extractors will cease until our terms are met. Kirk's voice distorts and shifts. She was? Tala was in the first game. She was the bar owner? Incredible memory! Incredible memory, Sexalia. We have blocked all traffic to and from Wellspring. We seek the resignation of the Syndicate's leadership and for a new Workers' Council to be installed in its place. This cycle, we will shut down the shaft. Any worker not willing to strike should leave now. There's a screech of noise, and the message begins repeating. You watch as the security are pushed back towards the grill, outnumbered by the gathering workers. Tala looks for you for guidance. Oh man, are we gonna add another person on the run to our crew? Honestly, that's fine. Now's our chance. Tala looks around the cavern, the red lights reflecting in her wide eyes. I need to say, I won't abandon the others. What about Seraphin? Tell my brother what's happening. Tell him I'm not leaving until all of us are free. Hell yeah, Tala! We're not free until all of us are free. Tala backs away, glancing over her shoulder at the others. You see them gathering their tools and taking them to be locked away in the Hab module. We need to see this through, Sleeper. And you need to go. Find Seraphin. Do what you can from out there. Help us change this place. And with that, she turns and glides off towards the others. Yes. You turn and head to the grill as quickly as you can. The way now cleared by the contractors, a handful of low-tech security pushed back up to somewhere near the pit head. As you ascend, the other contractors shooting you dark looks as you do, you realize you have to speak with Kirk. Ooh. It flopped us. You find Kirk at the pit head, directing contractors to barricade any entry points to the mine. So you took my advice. Good. Kirk smiles. We're glad to have you as an ally here, Sleeper. What happens now? The Syndicate was arrogant. They did not believe we could do this. Kirk gestures toward the contractors, welding plates across the checkpoints. But we far outnumber them. Their monopoly ends here. How can I help? Kirk leads you a little way from the contractors. If you want to help free those like Seraphin's sister, we need your help. I'm here. I'm willing to help. We have ships, but not many, and the Syndicate still has tankers in operation. Our blockade is not complete. The debris field between here and the far spindle remains open. We need another tanker to occupy it and dissuade the Syndicates from trying to pass. All our ships are in use, but your ship and crew could help us take a tanker and secure the blockade. You want me to storm a tanker? This will not be an assault. Kirk puts a hand on your shoulder. The tanker, the Headstream, has been held outside Wellspring for many cycles. The crew is tired and sympathetic to our cause. We'll just give them a nudge. A nudge with the butt of a gun, or... Your ship will pose as an in-distress trader trapped inside the debris field. When the Headstream is obliged to rescue, we will board and encourage the crew to take control. You want to incite a mutiny? Trust me when I say that their captain does not deserve his charge. This is a liberation. Kirk folds his arms across his chest. Will you do it? Yeah. I knew you would. Yeah. I'm glad to have you in our cause, Sleeper. Suddenly, Kirk puts 2 fingers to his mouth and blasts out a shrill whistle. A contractor quickly approaches with a large box, the front marked by screens and dials, and the back by loose cables. Oh, dope! You'll need this new HasNav unit to navigate the debris field. He nods at the contractor. Jin's here will install it in your ship. Consider this a gift from our cause to yours. He nods once more and Jin passes it to you, by you, heading for the lift to the docking ring with your new module. I'll provide the headstream's coordinates. He moves away towards the contractors still working at the checkpoints, and I'll wait for your word. You leave the pit head behind, your mind racing. You do not know if you ended up in the middle of all this, but you know that it'll be up to you to pilot your way out. Sleeper, Seraphin comes up from the passage towards you. What's happening? I heard the pit head is being taken over by Kirk's guys. You realize, will take a lot of explaining. Yeah. New local crew available, new contract on map. Oh my god, yes. Alright, cool. Cool! Oh man, we closed off everything. That's fine. Is there anywhere I can use this little die? I could technically do a depot shift, but it's gonna be rough. This is dangerous, but I have better chances. Yeah, let's do a shift. Nice. Positive outcome, 16 cryo. The locals seem to have taken to you in your manner, and you end up with a handful of tips and compliments. Aww. They like me. Alright. Well, let's see about this, It's holding on the debris field at the Syndicate orders. Okay. Only take 3 fuel. Payment Tala released. Well, I think we're gonna do it. I am increasingly worried about the number of dice I have that are damaged, but there's nothing I can do about that, so I guess let's do it. Hell yeah, Kirk! What do you got? You're probably a beefy boy. Yeah, it looks like he hasn't got Endure. Is he gonna... He's not gonna want to come with us, though. Right? I feel like he's not gonna want to come with us when we leave Wellspring. He's a Union man. He has to stay with his people. But I will accept the help of the broad man in the time being. The headstream looms large in the cockpit window as it comes to a stop. I can't believe you talked me into this, Seraphin says. This is not a good plan. Convincing Seraphin to take Kirk out on his low-tick freighter wasn't exactly easy, but with the pit head on lockdown, they really weren't any other options. A voice crackles over Seraphin's terminal, loud enough to hear, but quiet enough that you can't pick out what's being said. Stay silent. You risk the urge to ask. The tension in the cockpit is palpable, all of you aware that this ruse could fall apart at any moment. Seraphin, you look behind you to see Kirk floating in the doorway. You keep them talking, all right? Seraphin flicks the comm switch and begins speaking to the low-tick ship, thanking them for responding to the distress signal, trying his best to play the part of a nervous trader suffering an engine failure in the debris field. Kirk jerks his head to you for you to follow him into the corridor, and you unclip from the seat and float out behind him. Hell yeah, gold stars! If it's okay with you, ha! Gold stars, it's true. Welcome to wet hell. If it's okay with you, I'm gonna play the captain on this one. His flat stare suggests he isn't asking for permission. Is this gonna work? Kirk shrugs. If we keep calm and take it slow, there's nothing to worry about. Let me tell you how this is going to go. He starts moving down towards the airlock, and you follow as he talks. The headstream is going to be holding here, cycle after cycle, while Wellspring tried to squash our little rebellion. He smiles at the idea. Now the blockade is in effect, well, they'll know they have to hold out for longer still, while the message from low-tick operators gets less and less frequent. He stops by the lockers, swapping out his low-tick uniform for an old flight jacket. This is a ship full of tired, unhappy, underpaid, and underfed workers. You both arrive at the airlock. We just have to nudge their anger in the right direction. There's a hiss as the airlock cycles. Low-tick are coming aboard. Kirk catches your eye and gives you a wink. The airlock door, Lambert! I love this jacket. I love the fact that it goes down in the middle. It has like high leg splits. I like that. It's a good style. The airlock door scissors open, revealing a drained-looking low-tech captain flanked by security officers. Lambert, captain of the Headstream. He presents himself immediately, but with little enthusiasm. We've been in communication with your pilot, and we're docking as requested to provide support. He looks between you and Kirk. His eyes linger on you a little too long, no doubt taking in the strange vinyl skin, dark glowing eyes, and doll-like face of your frame. He directs his attention towards Kirk. How fares your crew? Thank you, Captain. You notice the immediate change in Kirk, his deflated posture and softer speech. Oh, thank you, Captain. We're surviving as best we can, but now you have to come to our rescue. He sighs and holds out an eager hand to Lambert. We're very grateful indeed. Lambert limply shakes Kirk's hand. Not to worry, the Low-Tech Syndicate takes its stewardship of Wellspring and the surrounding environs seriously. It is our duty to offer aid to traders and travelers alike. I'm afraid we don't have much to offer by way of supplies. Our stores have been depleted by our long posting here, but your crew is free to enter our ship and make use of its facilities while you make your repairs. Kirk continues playing the submissive captain, nodding enthusiastically and uttering a stream of thank yous. Thank you, thank you. I feel like he's pushing it a little, though Lambert only seems to be paying the minimum of attention to him. Suddenly, he turns a sharp eye to you. Your pilot didn't mention you had a sleeper aboard. What of it? Lambert flinches almost imperceptibly when you respond. Nothing at all, just observing. He glances suspiciously towards the corridor. I don't suppose you have any other surprises tucked away in here? Oh no, not at all. Kirk jumps in. Apologies. Our sleeper's a hard worker, and a quiet one too. He shoots you a look. Perhaps if your ship is in need of maintenance, you can borrow them for a few cycles? Lambert eyes you more brazenly now, taking Kirk's lead as permission to indulge his curiosity. Yes, yes! His eyes trace a tear in the thick skin of your forearm. Perhaps it could be of use to us. We're in a fucking mutiny this dude's ship. For sure. Kirk smiles. I'll send them to speak with your crew. I'm sure they can direct the sleeper to appropriate tasks. Oh, they'd love that, Lambert jokes. They're a work-shy bunch, this lot. I'm sure they'd be eager for a slave. The word puts you on edge. Just gonna stay silent. We're happy to serve, Kirk bows. After all, we owe you our safety. Very good. Lambert suddenly seems bored, or tired, or perhaps both. Tell your crew they're free to cross the docking tunnel then. He pauses, but remind them that no funny business will be tolerated. He smiles, a sharp smile. I have matters to attend to, Lambert turns. See you later, Captain. And with that, Lambert heads back down the tunnel, still flanked by two silent security officers. Kirk waits until he's out of sight to turn to you. Good. Well held, sleeper. I thought from the look in your eye, you were gonna knock him out, he chuckles. I'd love to. I bet. Kirk stares down the corridor, but don't worry. We're gonna pay him back for all that very soon. Kirk squeezes your shoulder. Shall we go meet this crew? See what their opinions are on Low-Tech's administration? He smiles broadly. With a captain like that, I doubt they'll be very positive. Okay. Low-Tech stress. Security lockdowns. This is another one in which we can fuck things up by doing badly. But we've got the engine room, which requires... Oh, we can sabotage the engines. Nothing spreads discontent more than malfunctioning engines. But you'll have to be subtle in your sabotage. And that'll give us Headstream Mutiny. Turning each section of the crew against its captain is the job, and it isn't going to be an easy one. That's only 3 ticks, but it is dangerous. Engineer support. The engineering staff of the Headstream are already in doubt about their captain. Engine room crews are always the worst paid. A little bit of contract discussion should spread the discontent. Alright, so actually... with these 2 6s, we might be able to do the engine thing immediately. Navigation control. Debate Wellspring. The situation on Wellspring is untenable. You just need to get to nav techs to realize that on their own. Oh, I wonder if the Headstream Mutiny navigation... Well, no, because the last one was... engineer support. Okay. Falsified data in the system will lead to frustration and mistakes on the bridge tech if you can plant them without being seen. That's my skill and it's dangerous, so that's also very tempting. I think getting support before we get the mutiny is is a smart thing to do. I feel like I won't know what all is happening until I actually plug a dice in and see what the vibes are. Discuss the war. Low-Tech are trying to profit from the war and their monopoly on water. The cargo crews just need some encouragement to see it. Operations support. Okay. I'm wondering if the mutiny will only tick up when we have the support. Tamper with payload. A leaking payload means the cargo crew will be on edge all cycles. Just don't get caught messing with the tanks. Okay. Let's plug a dice into falsify data and see what's gonna happen here. Alright, we got 2 ticks. The navigators are supportive of Lambert, but less so of Low-Tick overall. I am gonna plug... Is there anywhere else I can use this nice green die? Could do debate Wellspring. Yeah, that's about it. I wanna see what happens if I plug this in here. Where that's gonna get us ticks. Okay. All right, that clarified that for me. So I think in order to get the mutiny to happen, we have to get support across the board. God, that's tricky. That's really tricky. Okay. I think I might plug in another 2 here. Where do I have the least skills at? Because I guess that's where I should use the 6. Kind of here. Because I've got nothing we can use Bliss on there. We can use Bliss here. Use Bliss here. All right, we're pretty evenly spread, and I think we're just gonna have to do all of these. It registers as a hat. Their hair does. That's really funny. Like one of those, what are they, Ushankas? That they actually didn't grow hair. That's just a toupee that they're wearing as a hat. Let's see. I think I'll use my 6 here. Where do I want to jump up? That is going to be fine. That, because we got a bonus there. Maybe I'll use it over here. I'm going to use it on this engineer. Because I think dangerous will get us more ticks. Hey. Hey. There we go. Nice. Okay. And then we'll plug the rest of these in here. Okay. Ah, man, am I being too risky? Because I think if we get negatives, this is going to start ticking up. Security lockdown. Oof. I'm thinking about pushing. I'm gonna push. Ooh, another 6. Love that. I think we're gonna plug it in here. The risk level is just consequence-based and not risk-reward. It does seem like when there's a dangerous tick, it does seem like you get more from doing something more dangerous. It's not super consistent, but it does feel somewhat consistent. All right, this is the problem, is I know the first time we get stress, things start going wrong. But I've got 4 dice. And I'm not using. Oh, this is hard. There's nowhere where we have like a bonus to that 3. I mean, a 75% chance to be successful. Ugh. It's just that I know. I think I'm gonna... I don't think... This is hard. I'm gonna risk it. It's no, slow and steady, slow and steady. I'm not gonna use these middling die. We've got time. It's better to take our time than to rush this one. That's my read on the situation. Okay. Thank you, Roy. I know, I've got this. Yeah, I've got this. We've got this. All right. So we've got a beautiful 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 ticks here. This one is arguably the one I'm least worried about. Let's use this 5 here. Yeah, because this one we have a benefit to. Bliss, you couldn't have done a little bit better? I notice we're still using my supplies even though we're attached to this thing. Strongly regretting not having 5 supply before doing this. I just know it's gonna get so much harder once we get even a single stress. We've got this 6 die. Where do I want to use the 6 die? You think these guys are gonna feed him? The cat Lambert said can come on and use our facilities, but no, that makes sense. Can't even buy food here. Let's do... I'm gonna start tampering with this payload. Payload, not playload. Alright. I think I'm gonna dump the rest of these dice here. God damn it! Okay. God damn it. Alright. 1 crisis active. Plus 1 stress per cycle. God, that's so hard. Sabotage comms. The Headstream crew has started sending out updates on the growing tension to Wellsprings. This is trouble. Cut the ship's comms. That is a drastic move, but if they get word out of a mutiny to Wellsprings, you're in trouble. Fuck. I mean, if this goes wrong, I don't think... I mean, there's no stress here, so if this goes wrong, we won't get any stress, but I don't know what will happen. Alright. God, am I gonna push? I might push. I might push on this last die. Oh. I mean, if it's already stressed, let's fucking go for it. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna push. Nice, okay. That's 6. God, do I want to put that 6 towards... I think I'm going to. God, we only need 1 tick left, but this... I think if I fail at this, Bliss will take stress. I think that's the only fail condition here. But I don't really want to risk it. +1 stress per cycle. God, that's so hard. This is really hard. If I could roll better, that would be ideal. Oh, bliss. Okay. Clutch. Clutch move, bliss. I don't want to risk fucking this up, so... I think I'm gonna go for this dice. Okay. The comms go dead. You hope you won't need them later. Okay. But stress won't tick up in the meantime, so that's a huge release. What can we get? We could get 2 ticks here with these 2... 1, 2, 3, 4. With those 2 dice. That's not bad. Could we get... Or we could get the full engineering support. We're gonna do that. And then this one's taken care of. The tensions on the head stream has risen beyond the point of no return. Oh my god, alright. We got one mutiny tick going. Alright. Okay, so we can tamper. I think it makes more sense to tip both of these up because... Let's see. Yeah, we got no good place to use blue dye here. Do we have any place? Okay, we can use blue dye on both here. But Kirk, once again, not rolling ideally well. Let's drop our dice. Nice. Okay. What about... If I fuck this up, we're going to take another stress. We've got 3 more stress until another event happens that's going to fuck everything up. But I think if I get a neutral on this, because it's risky, or because it's dangerous, we're going to be in a bad spot. I might push again. I think I'm going to push again. Ah, fuck, another 2. All right, what a waste. All right, Kirk, I'm gonna need you to do a good job. Nice. Okay. The cargo crew is split between those who support low tick and those who don't. Your opinion isn't wanted, but we got 1 tick up. I think we're gonna go for it. We only have 2 supplies left before we start starving. Nice, okay. Alright, so that's 2 ticks. This one will be easier because I have the plus, but... yeah. I think we should be able to get this one next round without too much trouble, because I only need 2 ticks here. So as long as I get any amount of 5s and 6s. If I get a 5 and a 6, or 2 5s or 2 6s, we should be good. Bye, Rory. Right back at ya. Do I want to risk it? I think I have to. I think I'm going to risk it. Nice. God, okay. Worth it. Worth it. That got us 2 more ticks. All right. I hope so too, Rory. Give him hell. All right. All right. We're gonna rest for the day. That was good. That was stressful, but it was good. Man, what can I do to break a fucking dice in this game? All right. So we can plug this 5 in and totally lock down navigator support. Wow, Bliss Kirk, could you bring your fucking A game? The tension in the head stream has risen beyond the point of no return. All right, we're doing pretty good. So now we just need to focus on this one, but we only have one more supply round left. What I'm worried is we're gonna incite the mutiny and then still have to hang around and do some stuff. All right, positive, we got 2 ticks. God, could you guys... I'm gonna push again. Fuck off, all right. I'm gonna use this dice. I know it's risky, but we've got the space and we need to get this done. Nice, okay, positive outcome, 2 more ticks. So we need 4 more ticks before we can do that. And we've got piss all dice. But we won't have another stress event for 3 more stress. So I think I'm gonna do it, and I think I'm gonna make poor sweet Bliss take the hits. Okay. 1 more low tick stress. Oh, you don't even have any benefits. Okay. What about you? All right, Kirk, you're gonna try. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Okay. God. I think I'm gonna push 1 more time. Because again, we've got stress padding before things go bad. All right. Okay. That'll be it for the day. Surely a dice is gonna break at some point, and I can repair it. Oh, 2 of them. One of your dice is broken due to losing all its dice health. The broken dice can be repaired at the rig for a cost once the workshop is available. All right. Dice repair. Bliss, your head's action unavailable. We can't do this when we're off on a job. Supplies empty. All right, we can't repair on a mission. Don't love that. I'm once again going to render my displeasure at such a feature, but it should be okay. We should be able to get this right now. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna use my 5 dice to get this final tick, and then we're good to go. All right, the mutiny's on. We did it. We incited a mutiny, gang. Kirk rushes into the bay you were crossing. It's all kicking off, Sleeper, a wild glee in his eyes. Lambert's lost control. He guides you through the headstream, a ship you have become surprisingly familiar with over the past few cycles. Perhaps it's the influence of getting to know the crew and their complaints about Lambert and the Syndicate, but its twisting corridors, thick pipes, and cold metal have taken on an oppressive feel, cycle by cycle, hour by hour. Now, as the shouts of conflict echo down the corridor ahead, where a room glows with the warm light of the galley, you feel that oppressive pall being scraped away, replaced with something new, with some new and exciting quality. Enough! Lambert's shout echoes like a shot as you enter the crowded galley. From what you can tell, more than half the crew have crowded into the space and are clumped around, some perched on the side units. I ordered you to return to your stations. Lambert floats slightly above the crowd, his hands held up in a gesture of futile calming or nervous surrender. You see him glance over his shoulder, and tracing his view, you see the security officers tensely gather at the back of the room. It's not a mutiny, it's unity. That's my unionization chat. Gold stars, it's a good fucking chat. I'm gonna warn Kirk. You turn to Kirk, ready to indicate the mass security, but you are met with a wide smile that makes you pause. Just wait. Kirk winks, and you turn to see security moving through the crowd. If you will not retreat willingly, I will have no choice other than to use force. Lambert's voice breaks with anger. Disperse! You watch as the guards form up behind Lambert, and then one moves forward and grabs him, forcing his arm behind his back. Yes! Yes! Solidarity amongst all the working class! The act is met with a raucous cheer from the assembling crew and a yelp from Lambert himself. He is forced through the crowd, who part and jeer, headed directly for the corridor from which you entered. When Lambert is close, Kirk nods to the security officer holding him, and they stop. Lambert looks up in confusion and stares directly into Kirk's grin. You're officially removed from duty as captain of the Headstream on the authority of the Wellspring Workers Alliance. Kirk's tone is direct and clipped. This is done with the authority of a majority ballot of your crew. Workers' Alliance? You have no authority. You're pirates. Lambert spits at Kirk. There will be consequences. On that, we agree. Kirk nods to the security officer as they wrench a struggling Lambert from the room. Ah! Ah! What'll happen to him? Lambert can enjoy the hospitality of his own brig. Kirk pats you on the back. We have a celebration to muster. Ah! Please feed me. Our supplies are empty. The galley erupts in liberated joy, and soon drinks and food are passed around from a stash Lambert has been asking the quartermaster to keep back for his own use. You settle on a counter and look on as the crew celebrates. You watch as Kirk moves effortlessly through the room, giving and receiving thanks in equal measure. Despite his intimidating appearance, you see in him something softer coming to the surface, something reserved for those he's struggled alongside. Fresh allies are old friends to him. After the celebrations have died down and the crews retreated to make plans for supporting the blockade, holding out on what they have, Kirk approaches you. Not toasting the victory, he offers you a transparent bag of ship-brewed moonshine. To the crew of the Headstream. Kirk smiles. To our comrades. I think it's time we return to Wellspring. He looks off towards the last crew members leaving the room. We've done our job. Say the word. I'm just the pretend captain, Kirk smiles. That ship out there is yours to command, and everyone knows it. You suddenly notice how exhausted Kirk looks, his eyes dark and hooded. He looks down towards the scuffled floor. You did well here. He smiles weakly. We certainly stirred something up. He pauses. I don't want to overthink it. Lambert is right. Retaliation will come. He looks around the room. I hope they'll be ready when it does. He sighs, a heavy sigh. Kirk takes a deep breath and lets it out slow. The struggle goes on. He pushes off from the counter and heads toward the docking bridge. You take a moment before you follow, your mind drifting to the crew and the struggles they have ahead. As you do, a small and perhaps unfair part of you thinks, well, that's life in the belt. Yeah! Yeah! We inspired a peaceful mutiny on the Headstream is the achievement I just got. Let's get the fuck out of here. We need food. I need to repair all my shit. The cut thrums with tension. The steaming city its brash inhabitants have quieted, not to silence, but to a low rumble of conversation. The blockade is holding, and the syndicate is waning, and everywhere there are plans to be made. You and Seraphin idly float in Chasm Row, many stories deep in the wound in Wellspring's side, waiting on Kirk not far from this place you met, a meeting Seraphin still has lingering bruises from. Kirk is inside somewhere, and like every other low-tech contractor, he's making plans. Even before you arrive back in Wellspring, he'd hijacked the rig's transmitter to speak with his fellow conspirators and make arrangements for his arrival. Watching Kirk's plot unfold made you realize that, despite your involvement, in the end, you're just a subsidiary part of the struggle, a chaotic outside actor with effects, but no real influence. Now, waiting for Kirk's return, you feel a little soulless in that. You aren't ready to be dragged into yet another struggle. Not yet. You still have your freedom to win, and looking at Seraphin next to you, you know he does too. Alright, we're on. Kirk comes out of a passage nearby, nodding to the two of you to follow. He leads you both to the Rhyme Market passageways, this time not to the steaming market halls that lie beneath the deepest streets, but to a cramped room walled with pipes and rusted panels. Just a little longer, he nods to you both. Hold here. He exchanges a serious look with you before pushing off and gliding back out of the room. You watch Kirk go, your relationship having settled into a quiet and mutual respect. His eyes are on bigger things now, workers' consoles and contract negotiations, and you know that. Perhaps, one cycle ahead, you will find a moment to drink together once again and discuss everything that's happened. For now, Kirk has other things on his mind. Seraphin settles again. You shoot him a look, but his focus is elsewhere, his eyes glazed over. You fold your arms and wait. Sarah? Tala enters so quietly that in the dim room, you barely notice her. She shoots you a look and smiles as she enters. Thank you, she mouths silently, and then turns her attention to her brother. Tala. Seraphin says her name like a sigh, like an exhale. He's shaking his head, his eyes already shining with uncontrollable emotion. She rushes across the room, flying into Seraphin at speed. They embrace, softly spinning into the dust and dark, their fingers dug into each other's back. They separate, a couple of pristine spheres of briny tears spinning away through the air as they do. You're safe, Seraphin nods, taking a breath. I'm safe. She smiles reassuringly, settling him. And in the settling, the gesture of care, you see a whole network of signs and secrets. Tala is the calm to Seraphin's storm, the big sister who eases his heart. She looks him up and down. You're so big, Sarah. She laughs at her own statement. You've grown up. She tries to make it sound approving rather than patronizing. You're just the same, sister. Seraphin shakes his head, calling me big, but making me feel small. The moment the statement leaves his lips, you feel a chill in the air, and you aren't sure if he meant it. Tala flinches a little, hurt but not wanting to show it. Seconds into the reunion. I came to find you, she tries again. I needed to find you. Seraphin looks torn, and you see in him something you've come to recognize. The slow and careful raising of his defenses. Why now? He looks away. It's been a long time, Tala. Mom and Dad finally decide they want me to come home? A ripple of motion runs through Tala, one she can't hide. Sarah, after you left, they're gone, she sighs. I thought you would have... She struggles to find the words. It's been a long time. It has. Seraphin sets his face into a stern look of control, but you know he is raging inside. And in this moment, you feel closer to him than you felt in a while. Tala folds her arms, trying to regain a little control of the exchange. It's good to see you, Sarah. So good. You know what's coming, and you see Seraphin brace for it too. But I can't leave with you, she looks pained. This isn't easy for her either. Seraphin can only nod, a dull acceptance washing over him. I wanted to find you, and I have. And I can see you're strong, and well... She shoots you a glance. You have a life here. But the people here, the other contractors, they were the ones who found me, who've kept me going since I ended up here, desperate and alone. She smiles warmly. It's not that I owe them, it's that they're my family too. She gently places a hand on his shoulder. I know you understand this, she smiles at you. We all find our families out here. Seraphin smiles a rare smile, his eyes wet. We do, sister. He embraces her again. They separate, and Tala turns her attentions towards you. I know you'll take care of my brother, Sleeper, she smiles. I saw it in your eyes when you came to the pit head. She approaches and put a hand on your shoulder. I can see you're building something of value on that ship of yours. I'll take care of Seraphin. I'm sure she will. I'm sure you will. She exhales and takes her hand away. She folds her arm again, her sense of control returning. There's a wisdom and an experience to Tala that brings a certain calm to you, and you feel that now. Will you two be staying here for a while, or... Tala looks between you and Seraphin. Seraphin cuts in before you can answer. Not long, he smiles. We have our own freedom to find. Tala nods. Just be aware, you're free to pass the blockade, but after that, she sighs. Wellspring is gonna be locked down for a little while, at least until Kirk can establish his council. Next time you come, she smiles proudly, this will be a very different place. Hearing Tala say this, you suddenly see the authority in her and realize that one of those council seats might well have her name on it. You look between the two of them and realize they have years to catch up on, and they'd probably rather do that without you watching. You nod to them and slip out of the room, a lifting conversation starting the moment you leave. As you follow the twisting corridors back up to Chasm Row, you smile to yourself at the thought of Tala and Seraphin reunited at last. You hope this whole adventure will make Seraphin a little less moody, even though you know, deep down, it'll probably make him worse. Sounds like sequel talk or DLC talk, maybe? Later in the cycle, Seraphin quietly comes back to the rig. He immediately settles himself in the cockpit and starts running diagnostics on the engines. He looks up at you as you enter and shoots you a smile. Good to see you up here, Sleeper. I'm getting her ready to head out. Please no! Please no, we're starving. Please, God. Are you sure you want to leave? Yeah, I think so. He flicks a sequence of switches. Don't want to get too settled. Sleeper, Seraphin turns to face you. Thank you. He smiles. I appreciate you bringing us all the way out here. I won't forget it. I'm glad. He smiles. Gotta say, it was nice to see you getting to meet Tala after all this time. She's found a place here, and I'm really happy for her. He looks away out of the cockpit towards Wellspring, out of the cockpit windows at Wellspring. She always was the responsible one. She was always the one running away. I was always the one running away. I guess some things never change. Seraphin quietly watches the diagnostic complete, a subtle smile on his lips. One thing for sure, we've been here too long, and we've been seen by too many people. Wellspring may be far out in Utsubo territory, but I'm sure Lane will find a way to reach his nasty claws out here given enough time. Let's not give him the chance. Hey, guys! Bliss's voice echoes up the passage into the cockpit. They lean in the door, looking between the two of you. 2 contractors just dropped a load of fuel outside our ship. Said it was a gift. You and Seraphim look at each other. Gotta be Kirk. It's either a thank you or his way of telling us to get going. Seraphim kicks off and glides out of the cockpit. What about food? Kirk, please. Hey, so while you two have been busy, so have I. I've been looking at the rig's drive and reckon it's due for an upgrade. Shipyards. Got it. Right. Better go help Seraphim get that fuel. As Bliss leaves the cockpit, you find yourself lost in thought, considering your next step before the icy expanse of Wellspring glitters below. You are free to leave Wellspring. You now have a HasNav unit and can freely travel through the debris fields on the belt. Okay, so we are still here, thank Christ. We don't need fuel. We need food. Yeah, I'll treat myself to a meal. And oh my god, is there no place to buy supplies? Scrap components, rare components. There we go. Okay. Let's fill her up. God, supplies are way more expensive out here. And we are getting low on cash. We might have to do some runs. Maybe we'll do that water run. Do you think that's scabbing? We'll double check. I'll double check what the description of that run is. Can't do a depot shift. Could do a cutwater shift. Supplies. Selling shit. Yeah, I think that's about all I could do with these dice. So let's do it. And then repair, and then that'll be the end of the stream. Come on, big money, big money, big money, no whammy. Nice. Lost in energy, but made some cryo. All right. Let's look into this repairing thing. Improvised dice repair or dice repair. Okay, so we can use rare components. There will be minor glitches, whereas with the inferior components, there will be many glitches. All right. Is this going to do both or just one? Okay, all right. So one rare component per dice repair. Damn. Damn. Okay. 2 glitch, 2 dice repaired. All right. I guess I'll just take us somewhere, and then the next stream will start at that location. Not a lot of reason to go back to Holmes Rock. Oh no, we didn't get to. Oh damn. So because we did the Wellspring things, the contract to get water is no longer available. Shit. That's totally fair, but damn. We can go back to the Far Spindle. Let's go to Flotsam and get some fuel back. Have good PT. Oh no, I really need to leave, actually. That 45 seconds feels like it's not going to cover repairing my dice, though. But I don't want to read this because I don't know how long it's going to take, so we're going to end the stream there. And we might have to open the stream by repairing those dice again, but we'll just have to figure it out when we get there. Sunday. Sunday will be more of this stream of this excellent game. So have a good rest of your week and have a good weekend. And I will see you, Sunday. That's it. Bye.